l'ora del riposino.
L'hai guarita. È davvero in perfetta forma. Mettiamo a dormire anche lei? Mettiamola a riposare qui.
Come on, Francie. Take those blasted glasses off, please. Come on, Francesca, let's go. Francesca! Francesca! What do you think you're doing? Non c'è nessuno?
Scusi.
Cerca qualcuno? La signora cerca qualcuno?
No, cioè... Sì, l'ufficio del direttore.
È al primo piano.
Grazie.
Salga le scale.
Grazie.
Prego.
Entra pure, Giovanni. Venga, venga, signora. Prego, prego, accomodatevi. Accomodatevi, prego. Cosimo, mandami Giovanni e prepara il caffè.
Francie, sit down.
Ah, I see you're from England too.
Yes,
Oh, what part of the country?
Yorkshire.
Oh, I know it well. Do you mind if we speak in English?
If you like.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for coming. As you probably gathered from my letter, I believe that your husband is the only surviving relative of our oldest patient. He must be some sort of great uncle of yours, of your husband's. Don't you know about this?
I'm afraid not. I don't know any of my husband's relatives.
Vieni avanti, Giovanni!
Buongiorno, signor direttore. Shave?
Would you excuse me for a moment? At one time, this place was very well known. Scholars came from all over Europe. It was a hospital that led the world. But now it's being rebuilt. Sooner or later, they're going to throw us out. But fortunately, work's going on very slowly. Every so often, there's a scandal and everything comes to a halt. After all, this is Italy.
Non si preoccupi, signora, è solo un giocattolo. Suo zio vede le cose muoversi.
Quali cose, scusi?
Le cose che noi vediamo ferme, lui le vede muoversi.
Cosa fai qui da sola, bambina?
Per esempio le ombre. Noi le vediamo ferme, le ombre. Lui le vede muoversi. Sa, qui siamo tutti un po' speciali, ma suo zio è il più speciale di tutti. Lui ha un dono, qualcosa che gli altri non hanno. Per esempio, lui vede le piante crescere. Lui vede i fiori sbocciare. Lui ha il dono della lentezza. Lei non mi crede, vero? Suo zio è un mio grande amico e io sono molto onorato.
Francesca? Ma dov'è Francesca? Francesca! Francesca, where did you get that doll?
Ecco il caffè, signor direttore.
She can keep the doll, no problem. You don't take sugar, do you? One of the things we do here is to restore old toys. We collect them, wash them, sterilise them, and repair them, good as new. Then we give them to children in need. Gives some of our patients a useful thing to do. I suppose your daughter speaks English as well as Italian. I think that's a tremendous advantage.
No, she understands both languages, but she doesn't speak them.
Mi dispiace per la bambina, ma proprio non riesco.
I don't understand. With all the toys she has at home, she gets attached to a doll like that. A doll without a head.
Well, would you like to go and see this relative of yours? Giovanni? At one time, this place was full of patients. Now we only use the small rooms. Your uncle's lived here a long time. I gather he was one of our first patients. Ah, here we are.
Faccio io, eh? Vieni bambina, vieni. Mettiti qui. Devi stare ferma, così nonno ti vede. E la tua nipote, sai? Hai visto com'è bellina? Venga, venga anche lei, signora. Deve stare ferma, signora. Così lui la può vedere.
No, scusi.
Come on, my dear. Let's go back to my office. Lascia, Giovanni. Lascia che si sfoghi.
Io vado a dare un'occhiata in giro. E poi è l'ora della ginnastica. È l'ora della ginnastica. È l'ora della ginnastica.
Would you like to tell me about it? I'd be very happy to listen. It's my job, you know. This chair's heard a lot of things in its time.
When I saw that old man, my husband's relative, I thought about my little girl and how she might end up one day, abandoned all alone in an old hospital. It's not true, you know, that she speaks 2 languages. She doesn't speak Italian any more than she speaks English. She doesn't speak. She doesn't speak anymore. When she was little, I'd like to say she spoke both languages. Then one day, she stopped.
Why did you come to Italy? Tell me a story.
A story?
Yes, your story.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl who fell in love with a man, a foreigner. She thought he was the man of her life. She gave up everything for him. She cut off all contact with her world and followed him to his country. At first, everything was wonderful. He satisfied her every need, earned lots of money, and adored his lover. Then one day, she told him that she was expecting their baby. But the man didn't want children. He didn't want to change his way of life. He tried to persuade her not to have it. The young woman took some time to make up her mind. Then she told him she wanted to keep the baby. He seemed to accept this. But soon he began to grow irritable. He couldn't accept his new role. He felt imprisoned. One day, he said he was going to buy cigarettes and went out, leaving behind on the table his favourite sunglasses. He never came back, disappeared in the blink of an eye, and not even a word. The young woman found herself alone in a foreign country, without help, without money. She started to look for work, but found none. She was desperate. No one would help her. She couldn't even afford to buy food for her child. She ran into debt. Then, in order to survive, she decided to sell herself. The first time, she gave the little girl something to make her sleep, put her to bed, and went out. When she came back, the child was awake and screaming. But she didn't want her mother. She wanted her daddy, whose sunglasses she was clutching in her tiny hand. Her mother didn't know what to do. Then suddenly, she felt a surge of hate towards this child, and she lost control. She told her it was her fault her father had left them, and that it would have been better had she never been born. Francie suddenly stopped crying. She said nothing, not a word. I thought she hadn't understood what I'd been saying. But after a while I began to realise that she'd stopped speaking. From that night she has never uttered a word. Francie.
Mama! It says Mama!
Slowly, my dear. Lentamente. The reason I tracked you down is that today is your great-uncle's birthday. It's not a birthday like all the others, but you are his only surviving relatives, and I'm very glad that you're here, because today he is 100 years old.
100 years old? But he doesn't look it.
It's true. Surprising, isn't it?
100.
Yes, my dear, 100. He's lived here since he was 18 years old. He was put here because he was different. Because he was, come si dice, un lento. But his obvious slowness has masked a different perception of reality. I believe that his slowness could be his finest quality, not only for himself, but for everyone. I believe his slowness could be his finest quality, not only for himself, but for everyone. Look, they're doing their exercises. Would you like to go and say goodbye to him?
Stop. Riposatevi un attimo.
Buon compleanno, nonna.
Pronti? Attenzione. 1, 2. 1.
Arrivederci.
1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1.